You wake up in the morning, and before your body even moves, your mind has already made a decision. It whispers softly, "Not today. You're too tired. You can start tomorrow." And without even questioning it, you believe it. You close your eyes again, pull the blanket tighter, and delay your life for just a little more comfort. But deep inside, there's a quiet discomfort, a feeling that something isn't right. Because this isn't the first time. It's a pattern, a loop. And slowly, you've started calling it by the wrong name. You've started calling it laziness. But what if that's not the truth? What if you're not lazy at all, and your mind is simply trapping you? There was a young man named Arman. He wasn't weak. He wasn't incapable. In fact, he had dreams that could have changed his entire life. He wanted discipline. He wanted control. He wanted to wake up early, focus on his work, build something meaningful, and finally feel proud of himself. But every single day felt like a battle he kept losing, not to the world, but to something inside him. Every night he made strong promises to himself. Tomorrow will be different. I'll wake up early. I'll stay focused. I'll fix my life. And every morning, those promises quietly disappeared. The alarm would ring, and for a brief moment, he would open his eyes. There was a small window of opportunity, a chance to take control. But then his mind would speak, calm, convincing. You didn't sleep well? Your body needs rest. Just 10 more minutes won't hurt. And he would agree, every single time. Those 10 minutes would turn into hours. The day would start late, rushed, and heavy. He would sit down to work, determined to finally do something. But within minutes, his hand would reach for his phone. Just one video, just one scroll, but one turned into 10, and 10 turned into hours of wasted time. And the worst part wasn't the distraction. It was the awareness. Deep down, he knew he was wasting his life, and yet he couldn't stop. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. Nothing changed. The same cycle repeated again and again. And slowly, something dangerous happened. Armin stopped questioning the pattern and started blaming himself. He looked at his failures, his delays, his lack of action, and he gave himself a label. I'm just lazy. That one sentence became his identity. It followed him everywhere. It sat with him when he tried to work. It echoed in his mind when he failed again. And over time, he didn't just feel lazy. He became convinced that he was. But the truth was far deeper than that. One evening, after another wasted day, Armin stepped outside. He felt heavy, frustrated, tired of himself. He walked without direction until he found a quiet bench and sat down. His mind was loud, but his body was exhausted. Next to him sat an old man, calm, still, observing everything without saying a word. After a few minutes of silence, the old man finally spoke. Why do you keep losing to something inside you? Armin was surprised. He didn't know how to respond. He hesitated, then said quietly, I think I'm just lazy. The old man didn't argue. He simply smiled and pointed to a small glass jar placed beside him. Inside the jar was a tiny insect. It kept trying to fly upward, but every time it did, it hit the glass and fell back down. Again and again, it tried and failed. After a few attempts, something changed. The insect stopped trying. It stayed at the bottom, completely still. Armin watched it carefully. Then the old man said something strange. The jar is open. Armin looked closer, and it was true. The lid was not there. The insect was free. It could leave any time it wanted. But it wasn't moving. It wasn't even trying anymore. It had failed so many times that it now believed escape was impossible. The barrier was gone, but the belief remained. In that moment, something shifted inside Armin. He saw himself in that insect. All those days, all those failures, all those delayed actions. It wasn't laziness. It was conditioning. His mind had learned something over time. It had learned that effort feels uncomfortable, that discipline feels painful, and that comfort feels safe. So every time he tried to step out of his comfort zone, his mind pulled him back. Not because it wanted him to fail, but because it wanted him to stay safe. And slowly, that safety became a prison. Armin realized something powerful that day. His mind was not his enemy, but it was not his leader either. It was just a voice trained by habits, fears, and past experiences. And he had been blindly following it. That night, nothing magical happened. He didn't suddenly feel motivated. He didn't feel powerful or excited, but he felt aware. And that awareness was enough to start something new. The next morning, when the alarm rang, the same voice appeared. Sleep more. You can start later. But this time, something was different. Armin noticed the voice. He didn't become it. He didn't obey it immediately. He simply observed it. And then, slowly, he sat up, not because he felt like it, but because he understood what was happening. For the first time, he acted against the voice. That small action changed everything. Throughout the day, the same patterns tried to return. The urge to scroll, the urge to delay, the urge to avoid discomfort. But now, every time it happened, Armin paused. He reminded himself, this is not me. This is just my mind trying to keep me comfortable. And instead of obeying, he chose differently. Not perfectly, not always, but enough to break the cycle. And that's when he understood the truth. You are not lazy. You are simply listening to a voice that was never meant to control your life. Your mind prefers comfort over growth. It avoids pain, even when that pain leads to a better future. It creates excuses that sound logical, but slowly destroy your potential. And if you don't question it, if you don't become aware of it, you will spend your entire life obeying it, thinking it's who you are. But it's not. The moment you step back and observe your thoughts, instead of blindly following them, you create space. And in that space, you find control. The trap was never real. There were no chains, no locked doors, only a belief, repeated so many times that it started to feel like truth. And the day you break that belief is the day your life begins to change. So the next time your mind tells you, not today, do it later. It's too hard, pause, look at it, and choose anyway. Because you were never lazy. You were just trapped. If this story touched you, like, share, and subscribe for more stories.